For 2 centuries, defending a nation meant guarding a physical line in the dirt. Today, sovereignty exists as a computational consensus, defined by the millions of data points pulsing through the fiber optic pathways humming beneath our feet. When a hostile state actor wants to cripple a country, they don't launch an offensive against a fortified military installation like the Pentagon. Centralized, bureaucratic defense networks are simply too rigid and too closely monitored. Instead, they target the vacuum that exists between the government and the private tech sector. This is the interstitial gray zone, a highly vulnerable, largely unmapped space where civilian supply chains, local municipal cooperatives, and local water treatment plants operate. Because our adversaries actively live inside and exploit this exact gap, defending a 21st century nation with a 20th century centralized strategy is a mathematical dead end. The perimeter has moved, and our approach to guarding it has to follow. This map visualizes the geographic concentration of America's elite cyber defense talent. Notice the towering spikes of light heavily isolated around Silicon Valley and Washington, D.C. The rest of the country, the massive interior, is essentially left in the dark. But look at where the physical targets actually are. The agricultural hubs, the regional power grids, and the local supply chains are scattered exactly across that undefended central expanse. This creates a dangerous vulnerability. A foreign attacker can deploy incredibly cheap, easily acquired offensive code to paralyze one of these local networks, triggering a cascading systemic shock that bypasses the billions of dollars spent on coastal defense. The reality is simple economics. A regional hospital or a municipal power cooperative cannot afford to keep elite 6-figure cybersecurity analysts on retainer. Keeping our defensive capabilities locked inside coastal tech hubs leaves the heartland exposed. To survive, we have to build a localized defense-in-depth strategy, training highly skilled operators who actually live inside the communities they are meant to protect. The urgency of this problem comes down to the tools the attackers are using. State actors are now deploying artificial intelligence to map networks and exploit vulnerabilities at a speed that human engineers cannot physically match. Because these AI threats are autonomous and constantly evolving, traditional, signature-based antivirus software is useless. Relying on old methods is like trying to block a targeted missile with a chain-link fence. This diagram illustrates the required countermeasure: zero-trust architecture. Here, we see the traditional outer perimeter wall disappear entirely. Instead, the system operates on the assumption that it has already been breached, continuously verifying every single transaction and user at the individual node level. To maintain this, defenders use generative AI threat embeddings to launch constant, simulated attacks against their own nodes, proactively hunting for weak points and sealing them before an adversary finds them. But this creates an operational bottleneck. There is a massive shortage of qualified cybersecurity workers in the United States. We simply do not have the human capital required to oversee these complex AI defense systems. Surviving this cognitive arms race cannot be solved with better software alone. It requires a completely new pipeline of talent, drawn from places the tech industry has historically ignored. This brings us away from the coastal incubators and directly into the American heartland, Tulsa, Oklahoma. A little over a century ago, Tulsa's Greenwood Avenue, often called Black Wall Street, was a masterclass in localized resilience. It was an engine of human capital and economic autonomy built by a highly vibrant, self-sustaining community. In 1921, that physical infrastructure was burned to ash. The destruction of Greenwood was a structural failure of public and private protection, a systemic attack that violently stripped an entire generation of their accumulated wealth and sovereign agency. Today, the effort to reclaim that agency has returned to Greenwood through code and artificial intelligence. Microsoft and Black Tech Street have established a historic joint venture, the Greenwood Cyber and AI Lab. The lab is taking the historically excluded talent of Tulsa and equipping them with elite cloud computing resources. They are training a new class of cognitive security engineers to write the defensive algorithms of tomorrow. This is a defense-grade strategic operation. By taking marginalized genius and inserting it directly into the core of the nation's cyber defense apparatus, they are reclaiming digital sovereignty where physical security once failed. Returning to our map of vulnerabilities, the Tulsa model neutralizes the geographic gap. A central defense hub shoots neural pathways to intercept threats before they hit coastal nodes. This digital militia maintains a self-healing shield over local water systems and power grids. In the context of modern cyber warfare, geographic diversity and inclusion provide a critical asymmetric defensive advantage. The people guarding the infrastructure now have a vested personal stake in its survival. To secure the country long-term, this hyper-connected web of localized resilience needs to be replicated. We need similar models operating in every rural town and forgotten industrial city across the map. The strongest perimeter a nation can build is forged in the spaces between sectors. By empowering local communities with advanced tools, we prove that our greatest historical scars can become our most resilient defensive assets.
Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're talking about innovation in cybersecurity and why the actual future of our digital defense, well, it lives right in the messy space between sectors.
Think about this for a second. If 85% of our critical infrastructure is privately owned, who is actually defending the nation? It's a pretty unsettling truth, honestly. When we step onto the front line of modern digital warfare, we're not walking into some top-secret, air-gapped military bunker. No, this front line is distributed across commercial clouds, proprietary fiber optic cables, and the local industrial controllers running our power grids and water systems. Because private corporations own the vast majority of this infrastructure, we're left with a huge systemic vulnerability. The government is supposed to defend us, right? But the actual terrain of this shadow war is owned by private companies and secured by everyday IT departments. We absolutely need a federated, AI-driven strategy to replace the old centralized way of doing things. We need agility.
But historically, getting the public and private sectors to just talk to each other? Absolute nightmare. It's been defined by so much structural friction and mutual suspicion. On one hand, you have the public sector, agencies like CISA or the NSA. They're bound by incredibly strict classification rules and super slow administrative red tape. It takes them forever to share actionable data. Then, on the other hand, you've got the private sector. They're guarding against shareholder liability, protecting their brand, and heavily guarding their proprietary IP. So they are incredibly reluctant to tell federal investigators when they've been breached, and that right there, that creates a massive operational chasm.
So how do we actually fix this? Enter the JCDC, the Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative. This is a total game changer. It's essentially a centralized operational hub that finally brings federal agencies, private tech companies, and telecom giants to the exact same virtual table. They aren't operating in isolated silos anymore. They're constantly sharing real-time cyber threat data, effectively building a bridge right over that historical gap we just talked about. But honestly, the real magic isn't just getting these folks into a meeting. It's the automated protocols running silently in the background. We're talking about STIX and TAXI. Think of STIX as a standardized automated language. It's how computers instantly describe cyber threat alerts to each other without needing a human translator. And TAXI? That's the delivery pipeline. So when a private company's system spots a brand new ransomware attack, it instantly generates a structured STIX package detailing exactly what the malware is doing and shoots it over TAXI straight to federal security centers. It translates raw, messy logs into structured threat indicators in literal milliseconds, completely hands-free.
Even with all that automated sharing, though, we run into a massive wall: the sheer volume of data. Modern enterprise networks are pumping out petabytes of log data every single day. That's enough to fill thousands of hard drives daily. Human analysts are just drowning in the noise. And to make things worse, old-school signature-based detection, basically looking for known bad files, is totally obsolete. Attackers are smart. They use polymorphic malware, which literally changes its appearance to evade detection. They even use living off the land tactics, hijacking legitimate tools already on your network to do their dirty work. The human brain just cannot scale to catch all this. We desperately need to shift from passive matching to active artificial intelligence that can actually analyze behavior.
So, what does this AI shift look like in the real world? Let's move away from those sterile, abstract national data centers and focus on Tulsa, Oklahoma. Specifically, the historic Greenwood district, which you might know as Black Wall Street. We're taking this massive national problem and looking at a hyperlocal, deeply human-centric solution. It's a community actively rewriting its future through the lens of cutting-edge technological sovereignty.
Check this out. Microsoft teamed up with Black Tech Street to launch the Greenwood Cyber and AI Lab. And let me be clear, this is not just some symbolic community outreach program. It's a highly sophisticated operational incubator. The logic here makes so much sense. Our national cyber defense is struggling largely because we have over 100,000 unfilled cybersecurity jobs. Meanwhile, historically marginalized communities have these massive pools of untapped, highly resilient analytical talent. This lab serves as a compressed pipeline, training this talent and putting them right on the front lines of our national defense.
Now, to make this work, their tech stack has to be absolutely world-class. The lab in Greenwood mirrors elite Tier 1 enterprise security operations centers. At the heart of it is Azure Arc. This is an advanced cloud management tool that lets local computer servers, right there in Tulsa, connect seamlessly with global cloud networks. So these students are managing, deploying, and scaling modern, containerized security software across real, hybrid environments, exactly like they would at a massive tech giant or a federal agency.
And here's how they're using AI in that space. Students train on generative AI tools, like Microsoft Copilot for security. Instead of wasting hours writing clunky database queries, an analyst can literally just type a natural language request into their central security dashboard, their CM. They can just say, identify all endpoints with outbound connections to external Tor nodes, and generate a prioritized remediation script. Boom. The AI parses the request, digs through a massive data lake, and hands them a structured incident report and a response playbook in seconds. It's wild.
But here's the kicker. They aren't just using AI, they're learning to defend the AI itself. That's where federated learning comes in. You see, as AI gets integrated into critical infrastructure, the models become targets themselves. Federated learning is this brilliant, privacy-first method where the AI model learns from decentralized data, like super-sensitive utility logs, without ever moving or exposing the raw data. The models just exchange mathematical updates. So they learn the threat patterns while keeping total privacy intact. It builds a ridiculously smart defense shield.
Okay, let's actually see this in action. Inside the lab, students run these hyper-realistic red team versus blue team combat simulations. And we're not talking about simple video games here. These are intense, state-on-state simulated cyber attacks running in virtual environments that perfectly clone real municipal utilities, hospitals, and transit systems. The speed, the stakes, it perfectly mirrors the sheer velocity of a real-world, state-sponsored attack.
Picture the terrifying, silent path of one of these attacks. It usually starts simple, a spear phishing email to an employee. That opens the door to a zero-day exploit, basically a brand new, unseen attack method that defenders haven't even discovered or patched yet. From there, the attackers harvest credentials and start their lateral movement. They're trying to sneak from the basic corporate IT network over the highly sensitive operational tech, the SCADA systems that physically control the power grids. It's a total race against the clock.
The absolute crucial factor here is response speed. In a traditional setup, a human analyst manually digging through logs would take weeks to notice that lateral movement. Weeks. But the defenders in Greenwood? They're using an AI-powered SOAR platform. That stands for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response. The AI instantly catches the anomaly, it automatically writes a quarantine rule to isolate the threat, and even spins up a decoy honeypot to trap the attacker, all while drafting a step-by-step fix. The response time shrinks from weeks down to literal minutes. It is a complete game changer.
But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture for a second, because this isn't just about software. The adversaries don't just strike at our hardware, they strike at our societal trust. They exploit our internal divisions and historical grievances to disrupt services and weaken our resolve. The partnership in Greenwood recognizes that diverse perspectives and localized community resilience are absolutely strategic imperatives. By empowering a community like this, we are actively repairing the exact societal fabric that our adversaries are trying to tear apart.
This right here is the decentralized future of national defense. We are completely rejecting those highly centralized, vulnerable defense models of the past. Just imagine a future where every major city has its own empowered local community defense node. A lab securing local municipal assets, training local talent, and feeding high-grade threat intelligence back into a resilient nationwide mesh network. That is how we build a system that is just as dynamic, agile, and diverse as the threats we face every day.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. If the federated, AI-driven code being written today by historically marginalized talent in the streets of Greenwood can defend our national grid, what other historically excluded communities hold the key to our digital survival tomorrow? It's a pretty profound question, right? And it proves that true innovation in cybersecurity lives exactly at the intersection of cutting-edge technology and human equity. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on this decentralized future.
We draw lines on maps and station armies at physical perimeters. Yet these traditional defenses offer little protection for modern sovereignty. While we watch the borders, the world's power structures have moved. Power now flows through the unseen digital strata. The modern state is defined by its databases, network integrity, and the resilience of its fiber optic infrastructure. State-sponsored actors and cybercriminal syndicates ignore geographic boundaries to target the private infrastructure that feeds our cities and powers our homes. They seek out the vulnerabilities in the systems we use every day. This creates a systemic gap. The bureaucratic machinery of the state is ill-equipped to defend a frontier where Currently, our sovereign authority and classified intelligence are concentrated within the federal enclaves of the Washington, D.C. metro area. At the same time, our hyperscale compute power and AI frameworks are clustered in a few coastal tech hubs like Silicon Valley. This concentration creates a systemic single point of failure. Mathematically, hyper-centralized nodes are highly efficient until they are subjected to distributed attacks, at which point the entire network can collapse. Relying on a geographic monoculture makes our national response slow and vulnerable to adversaries who operate with decentralized agility. Global networks currently generate a volume of data that defies human comprehension. Every second produces petabytes of raw telemetry, like raw GNS queries, secure authentication requests, and global system logs. This is the raw material analysts must sift through to find a single indicator of compromise. No army of human analysts can manually parse this noise to catch an elite hacker. The sheer scale of the data has moved beyond human speed intervention. Defense now requires machine speed analysis. This neural network architecture uses multi-layered vector geometry to isolate threat signatures from billions of harmless data points in real time. Large language models, trained on global threat intelligence, now predict adversary movements and automate defensive countermeasures in milliseconds. Because our security depends on these models, our national safety hinges on who builds them and the data used to train them. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, a partnership between Microsoft and Black Tech Street is establishing the Greenwood Cyber and AI Lab. This initiative moves advanced technical operations away from traditional coastal monopolies. This is a structural intervention addressing a critical shortage of high-level cybersecurity talent. We cannot meet our defensive needs by relying on the same narrow geographic and demographic pools. By integrating Black Americans, a community historically excluded from the digital economy, into the talent pipeline, the lab creates a new, diverse engine for innovation. This lab operates in the space where private innovation meets a civic mandate. It provides the diverse perspectives necessary to build more resilient AI models and defensive strategies. 100 years ago, the Greenwood district of Tulsa was a thriving economic ecosystem known as Black Wall Street. In 1921, an act of domestic terror violently erased this community, burning its physical infrastructure to the ground. This destruction permanently severed the community from the accumulation of generational wealth and technological agency for an entire century. Today, the effort to secure our digital future is taking place on the same soil where that economic independence was once destroyed. Forward-looking, the Greenwood Lab provides a model for a decentralized national security architecture. Distributing technical hubs across the country creates organic resilience. When defensive capabilities are localized, a successful attack on one central hub no longer threatens the entire national network. This strategy disrupts the adversary's expectation of a slow, predictable, and centralized American response. Leaving segments of the population disconnected from innovation creates talent gaps that adversaries exploit. A truly secure nation requires an inclusive workforce that is as resourceful and diverse as the threats it faces. The defense of the future is being coded in the historic streets of Tulsa, where private innovation meets community resilience. This is the xRTFM broadcast network. The transmission is complete. Secure your ports. Monitor your logs. Trust no one. Verify everything.